What is up, guys? Arolf here, back again with another video. Today we'll be taking the Avengers Marvel's Black Knight. This is Build-A-Figure Cole Obsidian, so let's get into it. Don't mind that. So taking a look around the packaging, Avengers A logo, you get a cool picture of Black Knight on both sides mirroring the same image. On the back you get a brief description, so pause if you want to see the other figures to build Cole Obsidian. Without further ado, let's get into it. Doing a size comparison, here is Black Knight next to King Cobra, Batroc, Ares, and Deadpool. Also, the other figures in this wave. Before we look at Black Knight's accessories, he comes with the right leg of Cole Obsidian. For Black Knight's first accessories, he comes with this black sword. You got the gold handle to it. Really nice detail. It's not really warped that much. It's clean and slick. It does have weapon storage, so you can attach it onto this little loop right here. So you just slide it in. But the problem is it kind of warps it even more if you have it all the way in, because you could see once you put it all in, it kind of bends outward because the thigh is kind of pushing it outward. It looks nice, but if you're trying to pose it with the little belt sword on the belt, it could be warped over time. Now, as I quickly bring over the heads here, he comes with 3 heads in total. The first 2 that you get are extra in the packaging. You get this kind of like this actual medieval style helmet right there with a gold eagle, and the other one with just a kind of a more gladiator aggressive look to it. So this is what it looks like with the heads on the figure itself. So taking a closer look at Black Knight, starting off with the original head sculpt. I really like this head sculpt because it's kind of more in line with what we see in the comics, but I really like the other head sculpt better. You can see that it is a separate head sculpt with the helmet piece glued on, which is really nice, and you can see the wings here are painted nicely and are made out of soft rubbery plastic. Moving on to the kind of the full face helmeted version. I really like the eagle. The eagle is pretty clean. It's made out of the same shiny gold as that we see on the head itself right there. See, it's rubbery. You can see how it's attached. It's glued onto the feet. There are no eye holes. There are holes, but you don't see the eyes in them. That would be really nice if you could actually see the eyes in them. But moving over to the more aggressive and kind of a gladiator look, I checked Black Knight online, and he has gone through these looks like the different helmet or the versions of the helmets. So he's gone through all of them, and I personally like the full face one a little bit better. But just moving over to the original head sculpt here that we got on the base figure, what's already attached. Really nice. Really works with it. You see the scuffage right there. The cape here, this blue cape, it's actually pegged on right there on the back. Material, flimsy, rubbery, kind of a medium firmness to it. It's firm. I can't go soft, hard, nothing. It's just firm. Okay, moving on. The eagle right there, red eagle, really crisp, really clean. You see the, I don't know, it's like a chainmail armor on him. I guess that's how you would say it. He has a trigger finger hand, which is kind of weird. You see he has a regular hand on the left. See his belt here, got some pouches, brown pouches. The black little drapes, I guess you would call them. The boots here has that nice leather texture. Would have been nice brown wash to it, but you know, that's my recommendation if any customizers out there. But moving on, peg holes at the bottom of the feet, really nice and pretty basic. And what you could actually do is unpeg this belt here, and you could reveal nothing. It's just more kind of this, it looks like a black, but it's kind of this dark navy blue color to his tank top and his boots and his arm guards here. But removing that, attaching the cape back on is what it looks like with the belt off and the cape on. So yeah, putting it back on is a breeze. You just peg it in, wrap it around, peg it in, and you're good to go. More Black Knight's articulation, starting off with the head sculpt, does rotate all the way around. It can look up that far, but be careful because it pops off pretty easily. So you can look up that far, down that much, right there. He has the tilty shifty head movement on the first head right here and forward and back. Now moving over to the second head, it does also rotate all the way around right there. It can look up that far, which is not great. But it's kind of hindered by the cape here, so removing the cape, you can make it look up even farther than that with the cape off. And right there, and you can look down, not that much, but he can look down, which is fortunate. And he does kind of have the forward and back movement right there, so yeah, same thing with the first one. It kind of pops off pretty easily. So he has the forward and back movement right there. And the tilty shifty head movement is possible, and it looks pretty funny. Moving over to the third and last head sculpt, same thing. With this one, you can actually get more range because there's not a lot of hindrance on it. So with the cape on, just demonstrating the articulation for the head, it does rotate, or does look up that far, and it looks down that much right there, and it does have the tilty shifty head movement right there. Okay, now moving over, and the forward and back. Now moving over to the shoulders here. The shoulders ratchet around all the way. They can move out that far, which is kind of hard to move because the sculpt of the shoulder here, which is kind of a weird chainmail texture, like I said before. It can move inward that much. Has a bicep swivel which rotates all the way around. Double jointed elbows right there, which doesn't bend more than 90 degrees. No forearm rotation here. But the wrist, same thing, has a hinge, rotates all around, goes up that far and down that much. Same thing with the other side. You get the same rotation. So rotation right there, move up that far and down that much. Now moving over to the chest area right here, it can bend forward that far, and it can bend back that much. Kind of has a little gap right there, which is kind of annoying, but yeah, whatever. Waist rotation all the way. You can kick forward that far, so you can sit down like so, kind of awkwardly, and can bend, kick back, not that far, but slide a bit, slightly, not slide a bit. Upper thigh rotation right there, kind of stiff, which is better than loose. Double jointed knees right there, which is fine. He does have a boot rotation, which rotates all the way around. Feet bend down that far, up that much, and he does have the ankle pivot. Now doing the ankle pivot test. Okay, moving out the legs here, trying to fix it around. Really like how they included the boot rotation, so the ankle pivot doesn't look weird. It doesn't look weird at all. Yep, he's good to go. So taking an even closer look at Black Knight, starting off by removing the head. You have been decapitated by your own sword. Nope, I'm just kidding, I just popped it off. Metallic gray neck joint and kind of this navy blue hinge ball joint right there. It's kind of loose, which is the cause of having difficulty of popping on the heads because the hinge itself is loose. Cape here, like I mentioned before, very soft, firm. Let's just say it's firm. You see the peg joint right there, the peg hole right there. Pretty clean lines throughout. See, it's kind of oily back here. Looking at the armpit, nothing really major, but the red is painted all the way through, just not connected right here on this side. Yeah, right there, but nah, it doesn't bother me that much. I really like the texturing of the chainmail armor here. You can see it's really hindered by that sculpt as well. On the back, looking inside the joints, nothing really special. Right there, you can see the belt, the sword holder right there, all molded out of this kind of this caramel. You say caramel or caramel? This caramel color. I'll say both for today. This caramel color belt right there, and this gold painted gold painted piece on the belt. But yeah, removing that, looking at the inside, pretty clean. It really does look like caramel. You can see right there, it's kind of oily back here near the buttocks region. Moving the waist joint, yep, moving it forward. You can see how that interacts and how that clashes with the upper thigh. See right there, the knees, bending it forward or bending it all the way. You can see there's no sculpting detail inside the hinges, but rotating the boot here, you could see that what that looks like. And pretty basic, nothing special. And peg holes at the bottom of the feet. And yep, that's pretty much it. So yeah, that's it guys. Hope you guys like it. Be sure to rate, comment, and subscribe. Hit the bell, turn on notifications because there are more videos coming. Kind of a double upload today because I do gotta catch up on my videos. The review for the Cull Obsidian Build-A-Figure is going to be up tomorrow, so be on the lookout for that. But overall, I really do like this figure, considering that I spent like almost 11 minutes reviewing the figure. I had to go through everything because it did come with quite a bit of accessories, couple of heads. But yeah, being unknown of the character Black Knight from the Marvel Comics, I really do like this this figure, even though I haven't read anything about it or known his existence. I know the general Black Knights, but I didn't know Marvel actually created a Black Knight character in the Marvel Comics. But yeah, really like this figure. Only problem is the articulation with the shoulders here, which is quite unfortunate, and the double jointed elbows right there. So if it's just the sculpting. The problem here is the sculpting. It looks nice, but they could have made it a better figure. Yep, the sculpting fails to make this figure stand, but yeah, it's really hard to get in these poses there. But yeah, that is it guys. Arolf Mora. This is signing out. Peace.